All right, since you guys say I look like him so much, today we're gonna make a track in the style of Tupac using Suno Studio. So hop in with me. I basically transcribed the chords for one of my favorite songs. The chord progressions I get around. Crazy voicing. You have D minor, 9, and then you're working your way into, let's see, A flat, and then we're going up here. Whatever chord this is like A flat, it's B flat plus A flat, C, D, G. B flat chord, so here. Those two, and then you got A minor, but it's split apart. So it's A and G in the bass, and then B, C, E. Really weird voicing, raising the 3rd and the 5th there. It's kind of awkward to like revoice this much. And then we have E flat, what is this? E flat diminished, or E flat dominant chord. So E flat. So all together sounds like this. All right, so what I'm gonna do is create as much stuff that I can control inside of your DAW of choice. So I like to start with an idea. I don't like to just go in there and just produce everything in Suno. I like to have some kind of human footprint, and then it just builds the skeleton from there. So I can give it beatbox stuff. I can give it cadence. Let's give it both. I wonder if it can add like DJ scratches. I've never tried that yet. All right, so do as much as you can as a human first to give it a backbone and build. Now I'm gonna add little ad libs. This is just for so that we don't overproduce. You feel me? You already know. Can you feel me? All right, so just give it as much information to start with as possible. What we're gonna do from here though is export these as stems. So in FL Studio, you need to send everything to the mixer, hit Control L, send it to a different mixer insert, go to File, Export, export wave. We're just gonna put this on the desktop for now. Let's call this Tupac, and just give it a name, Tupac, okay? And then we're gonna, once we export, click where it says Split Mixer Tracks in FL Studio. So now we should have 3 tracks. Now we can hop into Suno. Let's go to the Studio tab. I re-up the Premiere plan, I think it's called. And let's open a new project. Now, one thing we do need to grab from FL Studio is the tempo. So let's go back to Suno. So it says 97. Click in the bottom here. Go to Manual BPM and go to 97. This will prevent Suno from drifting in tempo, which can happen. All right, let's go to the desktop. Let's find our folder for Tupac. And again, give it as much information as you can. So we have these tracks. I don't think we need the mic track. Okay, I forgot. We can only drag in 1 track at a time here. So let's do this. There's 1. Let's add a new track. 2, I did that right. And another track here, boom. 3, just like that. All right, so now that we have all this, it should sound exactly like we had it. So again, the reason we're giving it this much information is because Suno analyzes the track and it finds more data about the track. So in the bottom right of your screen, if I zoom all the way in, the chords I played, it says a solo acoustic guitar, even though it's not guitar, but it sounds close. A solo acoustic guitar piece in a minor key played at a slow tempo. The guitar features a clean, dry tone with no discernible effects. The melody is played on the higher strings while a consistent bass line is maintained on the lower strings, creating a counterpoint. The performance is categorized by so it goes through and it analyzes the audio. So the more information you give the program, I've found the more context you're giving the other instruments we're about to add. So let's just call this Tupac, and let's just call it Tupac. So what can we create? So from here, my ear hears definitely a guitar track. So let's add a track, and so now we have this track in here. Let's label this guitar so we know what it is. I'd recommend you guys get in the habit of naming your tracks, because later down the line, when you have a ton of tracks and you export them as stems, you don't want to be like, what is this again? because it's just going to be confusing. So make sure you guys name this stuff early on so it doesn't get messy. All right, because it can get messy. Okay, so now we have all this. Let's loop this with the loop feature, and let's loop up 8 bars, which is from beginning to end. When you guys drag an audio into Suno Studio, make sure you drop it on the 1 count, which is like the beginning. Some people don't realize it's not on the 1, and they have a hard time lining up stuff. Let's highlight this entire area from 1 all the way to the 8th bar. And let's click here, make sure it's not on song mode. Let's go to guitars. Now we need to give it a very specific style because there's electric guitars, R&B guitar, soul guitar, you name it. So we need to give it a very specific style. So let's say R&B guitar, and let's say R&B chords, and I want them picked. And let's also say like muted notes. Let's try that. Let's try that style. Let's do another style too, and let's name this guitar 2. Now here we are going to try. Now again, this resets the song mode, so you might not pay attention and you'll overlook that. Let's switch this back to guitar. And let's say we want guitar, but this time we're not going to do picked. Let's do minor 9 chords, dominant chords, and what else? I don't know. Hammer-ons. Okay, so it's going to be a little more melodic in the way it should go about that. So let's mute that for now. Let's listen to the first guitar. So because the notes are muted, it's more rhythmic. That's actually perfect. I don't know why it like fades, but it's nice up until like the 4th bar. That's a really nice sound. Now for the longest time, I overlooked these take lanes. So we have different take lanes. Let's try version 2 here. That's crazy. So I like both of those. I like take 1 and take 2. I'm not sure we can create. Let me see if this is possible. I want to create a track and I want to drag that guitar to the new track. Okay, that is possible. So I'm going to call this guitar B because we're going to do an A section and a B section for the guitar. And I'm going to drag this take up. Wait, let me Control Z that thing. How do you undo? Here we go. Let's undo what I just did. So let's just basically go back to what we had before. So I have guitar A. And the reason I undid that is because I saw it move. I don't want it to be offbeat. So we have guitar A, we have guitar B. So when we go to arrange this, we'll have this muted guitar play the rhythm for about 4 bars. And then we'll have the second guitar play the chords on the second half to be more full. So far, that's really all we need. But let's see what else it generated here. It's hard to hear this one. I like this. It's just a little too much texture, but it's a nice tone if we wanted to add in a texture. Let's try this one. This might be a little too pop sounding. But we want all this variation because the number one thing you guys might not realize when you're producing like R&B and hip hop is we can kind of tell when somebody's just looping something over and over and over again. So we want enough variation to where it's not, let me make sure I got the right take too. These are both pretty good. Let's do version 2. Let's drag that up. But we can tell when something's looped. So you want to generate as much material as possible. That way, when you go to arrange it, you have different puzzle pieces. So it doesn't just sound like one big puzzle piece going across. And because we gave it good music and good chords to start with, it now has a context of the harmony. Now we're probably going to do our own drums. One thing I do like is I think of any instrument I can't naturally play really, really well, like a guitar or a bass. It's just, I would have to practice way too long to do that. So I'm going to try R&B bass, and we're just going to put R&B. I've found, usually speaking, the less words you use in Suno, the better, but it just depends on what you're going for. But for me, the less words usually does the job here. So let's call this bass. What else can we add? I mean, for Tupac, I mean, you don't need much melodic stuff. The guitar and the chords kind of do all the work. Let's try the woodwinds thing again, because somehow we unlocked a different universe when we added a flute one time, and it just opened up the track crazy. So it just depends. The flute is never always on, but sometimes it just goes crazy. This is the exact bass we needed too. That flute's hard too. It gave us a very like 70s jazz flute. Love it. Why is it going this hard? Let's try another take. Let's go to version 2. These are both crazy. I'm going to add a track and drag version 2 down to here because that's too hard. We need both of them. Both of them. Craziness, y'all. I don't know how they do this, yo. All right, so now we're going to unlock all of the tracks. We're going to export these and we're going to re-import them. I'm going to do this in FL just because I'm more familiar with the workflow. But you just want to double check, make sure everything is playing the actual track you want. All right, so we're going to export this in the top right. Go to export multi-track. This will export each individual track as its own file so that we can arrange this stuff in our DAW. So let me do this again. I think I clicked something by accident. All right, that was fast. Usually multi-tracks take a little bit. This one was very, very fast. Okay, so this is new. They kind of show you. So I'll kind of keep that window open. Let's open up a new project. We're at 97. Actually, we don't need a new project. Let's just save this one. So this is definitely new because before these files, it didn't handle it that way. Like your multi-track export would take a little bit. And now they've numbered the files for us, which is definitely an update. This is a lot cleaner. So shout out to Suno for updating that. It seems small, but they definitely corrected that. That was fire. So before it used to put the project name, and most people didn't name their project, so it would just say untitled. But now they've definitely cleaned that up. So thank you guys at Suno. And now we have everything. So we're at 97 BPM. It even looks like they have time stretched it for us, it looks like. Because before, let me see, before I speak on anything, let me make sure this stuff lines up before I just give them a bunch of props. Hold up. All right, so firstly, we have too many tracks going. So let's limit it to stuff that we actually need. So the flute we don't need just yet. Drums we do need. Did you feel me? Now the keys are definitely off. Did you feel me? I don't know why everything's like shifted. There's definitely some kind of shifting happening here. But again, I think that has to do with their time shift algorithm because as you guys can see, this does not line up with that one. It's like a gap. We can fix this pretty easily in FL, so I'm glad that it's not a huge of a deal. Grab the slip tool, highlight these, hit Alt, left click, and drag these back. Did you feel me? So I'm going to use their tracks, not. Did you feel me? So I can hear that it's not perfectly on the grid, and this is the tricky part about Suno stems is that they have a proprietary time stretch that you guys might not have in your DAW, like FL, for example. So their stuff, did you feel me? There's a little gap for a reason. Did you feel me? I don't think it's gonna make a huge difference. Let's just see. Did you feel me? All right, so I was making a big deal out of nothing. It wasn't that big of a shift. It just nudged it to the right and lined up the downbeat. Pretty standard. Did you feel me? But I do love how the files aren't like random lengths. I don't know if that was like that before. But let's grab the flutes. So like I said before, we have A, B, and C so that we can arrange this stuff easier. So I'll unlock the drums here. Did you feel me? Okay, so it's my drums that were off. That's what was off. Did you feel me? You already know.
Can you feel
My
me?
ad libs all compressed.
Did you feel me?
Okay, so now we can arrange. We're basically just moving the puzzle pieces around, turning stuff up, stuff down.
Did you feel me?
That flute is so crazy, bro. Yo.
You already know. Can you feel me?
I'm gonna mute the drums for a second.
Did you feel me?
See how it feels like a continuous performance of the flute, not just this repetitive thing.
Did you feel me?
Let's unlock guitar B and C. Here we just got to turn the volume down for certain things. And again, I know I'm moving kind of quick here, guys, but it's just like putting a puzzle together. We're going to take out the second half of that first loop and just loop this. Just because the volume faded initially. Alright, so in the meantime, I'm going to look up some drums to try to get that Tupac sound. So I'll try my best to find similar sounds. I don't know the exact kit he used on that one.
Did you feel me? You already know. Can you feel me? Did you feel me?
Close enough with the drums, not the exact drums though.
Can you feel me? Did you feel me?
Alright, so now we need a pattern for the drums that goes boom, chicka, boom, psha. Alright, so this is going to be a little difficult because we have to think of MPC timing. There's too much to teach. I'm just going to do it and make little adjustments. I'm not going to overly obsess about teaching every little thing.
Did you feel?
So we need 1 and 2 and 3.
Did you feel me?
Let's shorten the sample a little bit though. Let's add a whole parameter here and lower the whole parameter.
Did you feel me?
So I'm just shortening this open hi-hats a little.
Did you feel me?
So boom.
Did you feel me?
Let me see if the swing.
Did you feel me?
The swing inside of FL works pretty decent. So pretty basic. All right, now we need a different kick though. That kick's not working.
Did you feel me? Did you feel me? You already know. Can you feel me? Did you feel me?
So now I'm delaying the drums to fit in the pocket.
You already know. Can you feel me?
So the bass is a little doing its own thing here and there.
Did you feel me?
The way we can fix this though is change the snap to grid to like a half beat. And just look at the transients where it, like the downbeats.
Did you feel me?
Luckily this bass is easy. You can kind of visually see. It's almost like looking at an 808. And we can just, if anything's off that grid, we could just nudge it.
Feel me?
So the bass is pretty much in the pocket. I think their bass is a little
Feel me?
fast. Let's get this hi-hat in pocket. I know I'm doing like a lot of stuff and people are like, what are you even doing? I'm just nudging timing around.
Feel me? Feel me? You already know. Can you feel me?
now we can't let the additional loops override our groove because it just feels like the music is overtaking the drums. So here's where you need to go in and make sure stuff isn't, even on the bass, for example, because it's faster than the drums, it's creating the groove. So let's add a purposeful time delay. Let's add Fruity Delay 3, wet level all the way up. I know I'm moving kind of quick here. Feedback down, turn off tempo sync, delay time all the way down. So now this is basically a delay knob for the entire sound. It just nudges it. Now let's send everything to the mixer. Control L, send stuff to the mixer. So now we gotta really focus on that groove. Some of the guitars are a little early to my ear. Like whatever this guitar we're hearing is. So guitar C must be a little too early. Just copy that delay over to guitar C. Give it a... See how it's in the groove now? Let me see if I turn up swing a little bit more. There we go. Now we got that 90s vibe. I feel like we could use a better kick, but again, I don't want to be here all day. I feel like this is a cheesy kick, but it sounds kind of cool. So let's go with that cheesy kick, even though it's cheesy. Another trick I do for a guitar to make it sound like it's in the groove is I use a stereo delay. So I'm going to use a stereo shaper, and you can just turn up the delay. Basically, it's... Of course, I put it on the wrong guitar. Alright, so let's put that on the right guitar. So this creates this left-right. And it just helps the groove a little bit. It also widens the guitar. I'm going to do a more advanced technique here, which is to layer a sine wave underneath this kick. We're doing really advanced stuff. You know, if you guys are trying to follow along, no worries. You'll get the project files for free. Just go to busyworksbeats.com, /black-bonus. I'll leave a link below. So I have to set up this really complex thing real quick with the kick. Pretty P controller. And we're gonna control the far left fader here. We're gonna link this to controller, P controller of the kick. So every time the kick hits, it will turn up the volume. So we're gonna set this to turn down the volume, or no, we're gonna set it to where it turns up the volume. And now we need to play a tone. So this tone. Now every time that kick hits, so right now the sound is a little too loud, so it's not all the way off. So we need to turn it down. Actually, I'm not sure if we're hearing it or if that. It's hard to tell. All right, so now I'm going to use this. So that's what we're adding. Now we could pull it down even further. This might be OD because setting this up, the EQ doesn't go low enough in dB. So this might be doing too much, but yeah, it's not going to work. Only because, all right, let's not use the EQ in that case. Let's use the entire fader. This is getting, like I said, very convoluted, very fast. Trying not to bore you guys, but basically I need the volume to go up on that every time that kick hits. So the fader goes to absolute 0, whereas the EQ does not. So rather than this doo doo underneath the kick, every time that kick hits, and we could change the decay curvature for longer. So it's just making the kick a little bit more full. It's super subtle. From here we can set up reverb channels to create a unique, uniform reverb. So I'm just adding reverb to make it more spacious. Now I'm running through a virtual analog outboard gear. So this is adding more weight to the drums. It's very subtle, but it just adds a lot. It adds a life to the drums. So the only thing I would really focus on is that kick, trying to get the right kick, because it's not the exact kick I want. This is a better kick. Let's play this from the beginning. Really a vibe. Really a vibe. Suno Studio. Telling y'all. Suno Studio. That's all I'm saying. All right, y'all. Subscribe if you're new. Go to busyworksbeats.com/black to learn more and learn more. Learn more. Learn more. Learn more.